press up and down arrow to scroll through our font, but I've already decided on this one. So we can have a character and we can have our different options down here. We can have Faux bold. That means that it's not this font doesn't exist in a bold, so Photoshop adds weight to it. It's not really bold, but it works. But I think I don't want that. We have Faux italic and basically same thing. It just slants it slightly. So we all caps. We want all caps, or I want all caps for this one. If you want normal, that's fine. All caps. We can mess with the character spacing, and I think that if you're messing with the logo type, you want to take care and really dial in the correct spacing, or the appropriate spacing, I would say. Matter of taste. If we do like this to 0, you can zoom in and be more precise. Actually, this is not very good. We have to enlarge this area, I think, to see what we're doing more. Now this is the good way of having a larger picture to work with. You can set it back to gray here. Let's see here, we can decrease the spacing a bit. Oh, that much. And we're going into the finer details of typography, but we're not going to go into that too much. That looks great, I think. So when you got this set, let's set the color we decided on earlier, and we wanted that color we saved earlier at when we actually sample the area on this file. It's kind of a blue tint, and to help us further when we're doing this, we're gonna sample the background color. You see this eyedropper tool, sample it, it becomes the foreground color, and we can go into this one again. You see our layer palettes over here. We can fill the background color with the foreground color, so we can see what we're working with as a preview. But we're not going to use this background. We're just going to use it as a like preview, but it's actually going to look like this when we export it, which is kind of a bad way to work. So let's see here. This kind of looks flat and boring, and kind of boring, yeah. So we're going to add some layer styles, and this you can fiddle with. And earlier I decided with bevel and emboss, kind of a simple effect, and you can see that well, it kind of looks okay, but if you zoom out, you see I have to briefly touch on this as well. If you're working with if you enlarge your original web graphics 400%, as in it was originally 143 pixels wide, and now we have a dimension of 572. It's 4 times larger, and then logically, I guess, we have to view it at 75% to view it at the actual size. So I have to warn you though, the effects will not look the same on the different percentage of zoom, so we have to be careful about that. But most of the time it kind of works. If you're unsure, on how it looks. You can do a test resizing of your file, and the way to do that is basically to do this. Select the marquee tool, or you can just edit. I mean select all, and this is the trick here. You can do copy merged, and what that does, it takes everything you currently see in your preview window over here, with all the layers below it. It just doesn't copy what you see, but it copies a snapshot of what you see. And if we click new and paste it, you can see we have a layer here with just the actual pixels. We can't change anything right now, but we can scale it down and see how it looks. And now we see pixels here, and you have to put on constraint proportions again if you want to do this. We dial it down to 143 again, and you see that if you have constraint proportions on, that your height will actually be the correct size for your project, like that. So there you see the preview of your project, how it will look with the correct background and the correct layer style scalings. And let's see if we can compare this to. %, and this is our preview, our rendered file, so to speak, and this is our preview at 75%. It looks kind of the same. I don't think I will zoom in when I edit this, and I will try to show you the difference in the layer styles, but you have to be aware of this when you're doing layer styles at a large scale to be resized later. Same goes for stroke, drop shadow, whatever. And I decided, well, that looks kind of subtle, and it doesn't stick out too much, but that's the beauty of working with these large graphics. You can do subtle effects, which you will notice while looking at it. It wouldn't look the same if you didn't have it. As you can see at this scale, it just adds kind of a depth and body to it, I think. But if you would work at this scale at the same magnification, you wouldn't get the same control and the fidelity on the filters. Everything would be much difficult to work with. Your size would be like, it's 1 pixel and then it's 2 pixels. It's like a very dramatic effect. If you're working with a large file, you will work with lots smaller steps.